Does your family have old holiday traditions? Just about all of us have family traditions around certain holidays, some that go back multiple generations. Well, it's November, which means here in America we're coming up on the holy trinity of holidays: Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And while Christmas has ancient roots, not 2,000-year-old roots, by the way, none of us have traditions reaching back 3,500 years. Unless you're Jewish and celebrate the Passover, a holiday instituted 3,500 years ago. On Wednesday, we saw how God took the killing of his people very personally and broke the stubborn will of Pharaoh with the death of Egypt's firstborn sons. His retribution was in the 10th plague, and that's where we find the institution of the Passover. 4 days before the Passover, Israel was to take an innocent, spotless little lamb, keep it close, and then late in the afternoon before sunset began Passover night, they had to kill it as a sacrifice, Exodus 12:3-6. Then they were to take the blood of the lamb and mark the doorpost and top frame and stay inside the house. That night they would eat the lamb dressed and ready to leave because God was about to rescue them from their centuries-long slavery. The angel of death went through the land and would pass over every home that had the lamb's blood on the door frame. That's the source of the name Passover. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. Exodus 12:7-13. That night, Pharaoh's will was broken, and he released Israel just as God had said. Their long nightmare was finally over. Now, obviously, I'm not a Jew, so I don't keep the Passover. But for me as a Christian, there are many lessons to be learned from that event. There are many parallels with Jesus because Passover served as a shadow of what Jesus came to do. First is that Jesus is God's firstborn. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation, Colossians 1:15. Second is that Jesus is the Passover Lamb. Clean out the old leaven so that you may be a new lump, just as you are in fact unleavened. For Christ, our Passover, also has been sacrificed. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Third is that by his blood we are redeemed from slavery to sin. Knowing that you were not redeemed with perishable things like silver or gold from your futile way of life inherited from your forefathers, but with precious blood, as of a lamb unblemished and spotless, the blood of Christ. 1 Peter 1:18-19. Well, if there's one holiday tradition that's over 3,500 years old, it's God's tradition of rescuing his family. Now that's worth celebrating. And I hope you're making morning minutes in the Bible a daily tradition for you. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.